We're going to learn about generative AI in this video, like ChatGPT, and we're going to see the implications that this can have for society, because society is currently going through a huge paradigm shift. We're going from the age of information to the age of understanding. So the information that you're going to learn in this video is going to empower you to more effectively make decisions as we go into this new era. And it's also going to give you the knowledge so that you can participate in conversations about generative AI like ChatGPT and feel like you know what's going on. So let's get started learning about generative AI, the age of information that we're leaving, and the age of understanding that we're entering. So in the age of information, that's like basically the web. And if we wanted, it gave us tremendous access to information, right? The web, age of information, like, being able to have maps and being able to have ratings on restaurants, right? And just like, being able to shop online and see reviews for things and, have other people who have written descriptions of what they liked or like all of this information that allows us to make better decisions. Really amazing, really incredible, really potent, really, moved society and humanity forward in some pretty significant ways. And so, but the age of information, like it was characterized, had certain characteristics. And like if you were in San Francisco and you wanted to find the best donut, right? You would search Google or some search engine for best donut San Francisco. Like we learned as humans, we had to conform to the machine. We had to create our search in a specific way. It had to be brief, it had to be concise, right? It would be best donut San Francisco. And then results would be returned to us. And we'd look through those results and we had to synthesize the results. We had to create understanding, right? That was the age of information. And if we had additional questions in the age of information, we asked a whole new question of the search engine. It wasn't like an ongoing conversation. Okay, and so in the age of understanding, we start to have a different way of interacting with machines. And instead of us having to conform to the machine conforms to us. No longer do we have to create our searches in specific ways, right? Where it's like the briefest phrase possible. And no longer is it just a single search and then, it's disjointed. And then there's like, if we had more questions, it's another search. Now we could just talk to the machines and the machines conform to us. So age of information, we conform to the machines. Age of understanding, the machines conform better to us, right? We can just talk to the machines. Age of information, single question and results are returned. Age of understanding, we could ask a question, it'll return results, and then we could like ask another question, and it's more relational, it's more conversational. Instead of it being disjointed and disassociated, one question done, if you have more information, ask a whole new question, right? Age of information was that way. In the age of understanding, it's conversational, it's relational. We talk to the machine, right? We ask it a question, it returns results to us. And then if we want to have a follow-up question, we can ask a follow-up question. We can have it refine what it returned to us, the information, the understanding that returned to us. And also additionally important characteristic, and the main reason it's called the age of understanding, is that when we ask a question of the machines now using generative AI, right? When we ask a question of the machines now using generative AI, the machines go out and look at all the results. The machine synthesizes the results. The machine creates the understanding. And then the machine generates a whole new, brand new piece of content and delivers that understanding to us. So age of information, results, information was returned to us. We had to synthesize it. We had to create understanding. Age of understanding, right? And that would be based in the age of information on like 10 results. Or maybe 2 results that we looked at, right? We'd look at like, or maybe 1 result. We'd look at 1 result and get our understanding from that. In the age of understanding, the machine goes out and looks at 10 million or 100 million or 1 billion results. It synthesizes all of those results and it creates the understanding from all those results, and then it returns that understanding to us, which is extraordinary. So those are the main characteristics and the main differences between the age of information and the age of understanding. And just to review that here in these high-level points, you can see the age of information is all about information, right? Information was returned to us. We then had to synthesize it and create understanding. The age of understanding is the machine synthesizes all of the information, creates understanding, and returns that understanding to us. And the age of information is very mechanistic, right? It was just like, here are the results, is very clunky, is kind of mechanical. And in the age of understanding, it's very humanistic. It's more humanistic, the way we relate with the technology. In the age of information is a single interaction. In the age of understanding, it's conversational. In the age of information, we synthesize the results. We created the understanding. In the age of understanding, the artificial intelligence synthesizes the results and creates the understanding, then returns that to us. And then we had to conform to the computers in the age of information, and computers conform to us in the age of understanding. We just talk to them. There's like follow-up questions we can ask in a conversational style with the computers. In the age of information, content was created by humans. In the age of understanding, content is created by machines. And previous to the age of information, society placed a lot of emphasis on knowing, right? On memorizing facts. In the age of understanding, there's going to be emphasis on applying, on not needing to know something, but needing to know how to find the answer, right? You don't have to know the answer, you need to know how to find the answer. All right, so that's a little bit about generative AI and this new age of understanding that we're entering. We're moving from the age of information and we're moving into the age of understanding. In the next video that I make for this YouTube channel, I'm going to show you my favorite statistical site ever. It's this amazing site, incredible data visualization that's going to prove to you definitively that there's never been a better time to be alive as a human. So it's a very inspiring thing to see. If you want to check that out, make sure you hit that subscribe button and then toggle that bell so you'll be notified when this video comes out and you'll be able to watch it. If you enjoyed this video, hit like. If you have any thoughts about what the future is going to hold with generative AI, leave those down in the comments. And if there's anything you want to learn about technology, computers, Microsoft Excel, anything like that, also leave a comment down below. I look at those comments and use them as inspiration for videos that I make in the future. Make sure you hit subscribe, hit like, and I'll see you in future videos.